Welcome back, folks, to some more Eric, the Unready. Alright, let's talk to some of these knights. Talk to knights.
You haven't mentioned how far you walked through the snow to get to school.
Oh, it wasn't just 20 miles through snow. The hard part was that we didn't have any shoes. It was uphill both ways, and we had to carry those darn lead weights. And the game's going to crash again.
Do you think you might assign the quest to me?
You? Ha! If they give you this quest, we'll eat our own graves.
What's the maximum airspeed velocity of unladen Garpathian swallow?
Don't be Davlan. The Garpathian swallow can't fly.
You guys ever fought the Stygian dragon?
Us, personally, well, no, not exactly, but we've seen woodcuts. That was definitely a lot more fierce in our day than it is now.
Is eating oatmeal really the right thing to do?
It's good enough for Sir Wilfrid of Brimley, it's good enough for us.
Bye for now, thanks for chatting with me.
Let's talk to the young knights. K-N-I-G-H-T-S. If you don't know how to spell, forget about playing this fucking game, by the way. All you morons who skipped out of first grade.
Do you think the shop steward might assign me this quest? Absolutely. Monkeys might fly out of your ass. Won't your neck get stuck if you sit too long in that possession? Nonsense. I'm a fully trained knight who can withstand more discomfort than this for hours on end. Which one of you guys keeps short-sheeting my bed? 'Tis gremlins, Sir Eric. Perhaps you need some demon begone. Have any of you fought the Stygian dragon? Us, well, cart union regulations discourage excessive personal endangerment. Bye-bye. Not to mention how they run sieges nowadays. Now it's catapultists and battery ram that. In my day, we'd send 500 screaming maniacs running up the castle wall to form a human pyramid. Then some unlucky bastard would climb up to the top while the defenders poured boiling oil on his head. Then if by some chance he made it, they'd hack him to bits with their swords. But did that stop him? No! He'd run down the inner gate and use what was left of his body as a counterweight so the rest of us could rush in, kill all the livestock, and rape the women. Or was it the other way around? I'm a little fuzzy on the details. The case is closed up tight and securely locked. Inside you see something that vaguely resembles a hibachi. The room falls silent as the shop steward comes in. He faces the troops with a pained expression on his face and begins to speak. Listen up, men. The king's daughter, Princess L'Oreal the Worthy, has been kidnapped. It is my job to assign one of you knights the task of going out to get her. The quest is especially tricky because of the impending death of King Fudd. For those of you who aren't up to these matters, I remind you of the ancient prophecy that was foretold when Fudd died on his 60th birthday, which is this coming Saturday. The prophecy states that the unmarried princess who was at Fudd's side when he expires shall inherit the kingdom. What this means is that if L'Oreal is not returned here by Saturday noon, the crown shall pass to Queen Morgana's daughter by previous marriage, Griselda the Hefty. All of you know that traditional reward for the rescue of the kidnapped princess is half the kingdom and the girl's hand in marriage. So after long and careful consideration of the various talents of all knights in the realm, I have decided to assign this quest to Eric, the Unready. What, me? No way! Fucking awesome!
Eric, shouts one knight, that's incompetent! Why, our treasury still hasn't recovered from the cost of rebuilding Ulrich's house of torches! Yes, shouts another, and Farmer Berthrow the Chief still hasn't figured out how to get that chicken out of his cow's ass! How can you pick Eric?
Silence!
Roars the shop steward.
The decision has been made, and it's final.
The knights start to file out of the hall, blubbering at you as they pass. A few of the older ones are angrily gnawing at their arms, or at their greaves. Soon you are left alone. This is the village square. The courtyard lies to the north, the Union Hall to the east, the village green to the south, and the armory to the west. While you were in Union Hall, a crowd was gathering in the village square. Elbow your way to the front of the throng and learn that they have come to see Ponce, the most famous bard in all the Tours. Despite his fame, his prices are reasonable, as evidenced by the sign at his side. Someone tosses the bard a copper penny. He pockets the coin and says, "A man walks into a bar." Surgeon's office. On his head is a bright green frog. The barber/surgeon asks, "What's the problem?" The
frog answers, I'd like to have this wart removed on my ass. Let's talk to Ponce.
Tell me about this Epic of Balder.
Tis a great story I've told. Of course, to hear it, you'll need to give me a gold coin.
Most people can't wear purple, but on you it looks awful.
Good day to you, Sir Eric.
Why do bards always stand so funny?
If you told jokes all day without going to the bathroom, you'd stand pretty funny too.
Are your legs naturally grey, or are you just wearing pantyhose?
This is the garb of my trade, my good man.
Where are you hiding all those coins people keep tossing you?
Why do you think they make my pants look like swallowed a pumpkin?
I do. Someone tosses the bard a silver penny. He pockets the coin and launches into a long song about a knight and his chaste love for the wife of the king. Something about Lancelot, maybe? Let's read his sign real quick. He's got a new joke here. A knight attending a royal feast lets out a giant belch. The king looks at him and says angrily, "How dare you belch before the queen?" The knight says, "I didn't know she wanted to go first." 1 copper penny for jokes, 1 silver penny for songs. And for the Epic of Balder, 1 gold coin. Someone tosses Bard a silver penny, and he launches into a long song about the mother of all joust. Giovanni's House of Armor is a small, pleasant shop that specializes in tailor-made suits of armor. It is run by a small, pleasant man by the name of Giovanni. The exit to the street lies to the east. Giovanni looks up and as you come in and says, "Bonjour, Eric. What's the matter for you?" Let's show him my armor card, my warranty. "You got a problem I fix." He rummages behind the counter and says, "What was the greave length again?" To learn the correct answer, you can either spend the rest of the day making a series of wild guesses or consult the armor diagram in your game manual. Okay, greave length. 22. What was your gauntlet style again? Gothic. What was your gorget circumference again? 16. Giovanni pops back out from behind the counter and says, "Okay, we got it now. Come on back next week, and we got a brand new suit for you. Until then, wear this cloak. It's the finest quality, last worn by the wizard himself." He tosses you a cloak. It's a simple cloak that has a single pocket. You put on the cloak. Within the pocket, you can see a packet. You take the packet from the pocket. Within the packet, you can see a bean. You take the bean from the packet. Let's get our helmet from our residence here. This is the fabled feasting hall of King Fudd. The knights of the rhomboid table are rowdy cavorting. A doorway leads up to the queen's chambers, but it is guarded by an alert soldier. In the fireplace, you see some kindling. He takes some kindling. Your score has gone up by 5. Looks like the game only busts out on me when I talk. I'm trying a different DOSBox version here. See if that helps. So far, so good. What's going on upstairs? Sir Pectoral and Queen Morgana are in private conference. They're not to be disturbed. I was told you that the king's business would let me go up. No, I would laugh in your face. I'm here on king's business. Ha 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 ha. Look, it's Halley's Comet. Nice try, but you still can't go up. Why don't you go cavort with the other knights for a while? I'll stand guard here for you. Okay, oops, sorry, I just remembered. My cavorter is broken.
If I gave you a nice shiny gold coin, would you let me go upstairs?
Sure.
I know when I'm licked. Alright, so there's guards in our way here. And we need to get rid of him. Let's talk to the young knights here. Hi guys, how come no one invited me to the party?
Sorry, Sir Eric. The invitation must have gotten confiscated. There's a new crackdown on chainmail. Ha ha ha.
What happens when you need to go to the bathroom while you're wearing your armor?
That's why the quick-headed squires get the top money.
Say fellas, let me set you straight about this pig.
Say no more, my good man. There's nothing to us. Oink oink.
What's with the alert guard over there?
He's the Queen's man. He guards the stairs that lead to her chambers.
Party on, dudes!
Party on.
Kiss me!
Congratulations, you win the Narcissist of the Month award, breaking a string of 87 consecutive months when it was awarded to Madonna.
Alright, let's head south. This is the village green. The old ice cream shop is to the east. The village square lies to the north, and Ulrich's house of torches is to the west. The green runs down to the shore of village duck pond. On Ulrich's, you see a torch.
Let's look at the pond here.
It's a pretty normal looking duck pond, except it doesn't seem to have any ducks in it.
Well, we're gonna fill our helmet with some pond water.
You tip your helmet into the pond and fill it with water. Your score has gone up
by 10.
Alright, now back north.
If you'd ever seen a satellite dish, you'd swear that it looks just like this one. Of course, you've never seen a satellite dish because you live in the technological backwater known as Taurus, where people are still abuzz over the invention of a spoon. You plant a bean in the garden. You pour water out onto the bean, and there is a flash of light. For suddenly, a tall, thin beanstalk spirals up the side of the tower. Clamber up the beanstalk. You poke your head in the window and see a bizarre figure seated in a chair. He appears to be a wizard, but he's not like any mage you've ever seen before. The figure looks up from the box. He is watching and speaks.
Ah, there you are. I was wondering I was keeping you. The last time I lost track of time, the damn giants can't win a game to save their lives. I just know I'm gonna lose that bet with Merlin. He stares up at the ceiling. Wonder if he's been rigging games again. He suddenly seems to notice you all over again and says, Yes, well, be it that it may, what you need here is to fetch me a root beer float. He flips a gold coin at you. Come back when you've got it and we'll talk. The coin sails out of the window and floats lazily past your head. It comes to a stop in midair and hovers just beyond your reach. You hang on to the beanstalk and lean way over. The stalk starts to pull away from the tower. You grab the coin just as the vine pulls clear, and you come crashing to the ground. The beanstalk shrivels up and disappears. Alright, let's do an inventory check. Rolling a coin, some kindling, and helmet, a packet, a newspaper, a card, and some torties, and wearing a cloak. From here we're going to go south. Ulrich rushes out to meet you and says nervously, Sir Eric, it's a pleasure to see you again. It's a pity you caught me just as I was about to close, but here, why don't you take this torch? It's on the house. The shopkeeper wrenches the torch free from the wall and presses it into your hands. Then he retreats into the building and flips over the sign, so it now reads, Closed. Ulrich appears, points vigorously at the sign, and shakes his head violently back and forth, and he disappears again into the depths of the shop.
This is a small ice cream shop that is extremely cold and uncomfortable. A teenager stands behind the counter, shivering almost uncontrollably, like the fat little shit that he is, even though he is wearing lots of heavy clothes and some earmuffs. On the wall behind him is a sign. There's a fireplace in the corner, and the only exit is to the west.
Welcome to Baskin Bobbins, says the boy. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, those are some really nice earmuffs.
Really, I hate them. I only got them because it's always so goddamn cold in here.
Hey, I'm over here.
Sorry, I was just thinking about the music from Swan Lake.
I think I just saw your mother out on the duck pond.
Stop kidding around. Are you gonna buy anything or not?
I'd like to try one of your 32 flavors.
Sorry, someone's eaten up everything. We only have enough left for a root beer float special.
I'd like to buy a root beer float.
Certainly, that'll be 1 gold coin, please.
Well, the boy is cold, so let's light him a fire. You hold the torch to the kindling. It catches fire immediately. A flame licks out and burns your hand. You drop the torch itself into the fire, where it's quickly consumed. Soon the room is roasting hot, and Bobbin says,
Thanks, I guess I won't be needing these anymore.
He removes his earmuffs and tosses them to you. You give the gold coin to Bobbin. He messes around behind the counter for a few moments and then hands you a root beer float. Suddenly, another gold coin appears in your hand. Nice. The bard abruptly stops singing and pockets the coin. He clears his throat.
The Epic of Balder, he announces dramatically. In the great days of Balder, many years ago, when the land was dark, a brave knight ventured into the forest of doom. Something about the bard's voice makes you want to close your eyes and drift off to sleep. Suddenly, you notice that another gold coin has appeared in your hand. You put on the earmuffs. You can still make out the bard's voice, but it doesn't put you to sleep like it did before. Everybody around you starts to get drowsy. Something about the bard's delivery prevents you from leaving, even though the earmuffs shield you from the full impact of the boring epic. The vanilla in the float begins to melt. Everyone around you seems to have fallen asleep. Paul sees that you haven't fallen asleep and then notices the earmuffs and says, What a great idea! This story is so boring that even I have to work hard to stay awake. If it's so boring, you ask, why do you keep it in your repertoire? Because if you're a bard, people expect you to know it. Besides, I've heard that it's a favorite of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Despite all of the honors I've received... Where the fuck did it go? Received in my career, I've still never performed in Frod's Feasting Hall. The Epic of Boulder is my best chance to make that dream come true. Well, if performing for the Knights of the Rhomboid Table is so important to you, I can arrange it. All you have to do is follow me. Are you interested? Most certainly. Just give me a moment. The bard walks over to the sleeping crowd and shouts, Wake up! Show's over, go home! The people climb up groggily to their feet and stumble away. Then the bard turns back to you and says, Lead on, young man! Whither thou goest, thither shall I follow! This is the Feeble Feasting Hall. Ponce launches into the Epic of Balder. The hall instantly falls silent. In the great days of Balder, you wait until the soldiers have all fallen asleep. You step over the guard and climb the stairs. At the top, you hear the voices coming from the Queen's chamber. You pause in the vestibule and cautiously peek through the curtains in the next room. And the hottest part of the whole plan was to make sure that the shop steward assigned the quest to that idiot Eric. Of course, I had to sleep with the man. Several times, in fact. But that's a small price to pay. Don't you think so, my darling Pectoral? I guess so. You recognize the voice of Sir Pectoral the Hunk.
Where did your sister take Laurel?
To her castle, of course. Eric will never be able to cross Taurus in time to rescue the princess. Even if he does, he'll still have to get past the guardians of the Black Gate. But enough of that. Have I done as requested, Darlene Pex?
Yes, Your Highness. I have arranged a group of soldiers to begin following Eric at the end of the day. As soon as he leaves the village, they will arrange an accident for him. Questing is such a dangerous occupation, you know.
Good. You must go now. It has grown strangely quiet downstairs.
You hear Sir Pectoral start to leave, and you race down the stairs before he can discover you.
That wily bitch!
As you reach the bottom of the stairs, you hear the bard say, "And thus ended the epic of Balder." The revelers slowly begin to awaken from their slumber. A drunken knight looks up and yells, "Hey, this is mighty Sir Amric Michelle. How'd she get that quick, shorty? Should have been me." The guard merely raises an eyebrow, but that's enough to stop you in your tracks. The vanilla is almost gone. Another knight speaks up. I'm the one who should have received that quest. My armor's the shiniest of anyone here."
Oh yeah? Replies the first knight. Blow it out, you pauldron, pal.
A drunken soldier blocks your path. "Where do you think you're going, shorty?" The two warring knights leap to their feet. A third jumps up between them and says, "Peace, brothers. This is no way for the knights of the rhomboid table to behave." The two knights look at each other, lower their heads, and then simultaneously slug the interfering knight in the jaw. He staggers back into some other knights who catch him and help him launch a counterattack. Soon the entire room has become a chaotic melee of knights hacking and slashing at each other. Ponce looks at the warring behemoths and says,
"That's good enough for me. I'm out of here."
He gives you a copy of the commemorative book that he gives all his clients and then leaves. A drunken soldier blocks your path and says, "Where do you think you're going?" Suddenly, a cold wind blows through the chamber and the knights suspend the fighting. Bord the wizard appears in a shower of sparks and says, "Ho, knights of Fud! Know ye not the rightful hero? The quest has been determined by the stars. Let us go to the village green, where the gods have prepared a sign, that we might truly learn the identity of the knight who has been destined since the beginning of time to quest forth in search of the Princess L'Oreal." Bud waves his hand and suddenly the entire company is magically transported to the village green. This is the village green. Alright. The green runs down to the shore. You see a stone here. In the stone you see a banana. One after another, all knights try to pull the banana from the stone. They all fail. Eventually a hush falls over the group. And everyone looks at you expectantly. The other knights start to boo. "Stop playing with it," someone shouts. "Either pull it out or let someone else have another go." You grasp the banana and pull it effortlessly from the stone. You turn to face the assembled multitude and raise the banana high over your head. Behold! Excalabanana! You pause for dramatic effect and then continue. "Ye are all witnesses. I pulled the sacred banana from the stone." The knights stare at you for a moment, and then one of them says, "Stupid quest anyways. Probably get killed," another says. "Bet on it," says a third. "How much?" 10 gold pieces. Geez, okay, you pick awkward times to interrupt. Just hold on a moment, okay? The wizard looks down at the magic screen in front of him. Suddenly he gets very excited and shouts, "It's up! It's good!" After a moment he calms down and turns his attention back to you. "By now, Eric, you should have learned the evil Queen Morgana has begun the kidnapping of L'Oreal the Worthy. The Queen has imprisoned the girl at the castle of her sister, an exceedingly wicked bitch. She plans to marry the princess off to a beast from the other side of Taurus. If she is successful, the Griselda the Hefty will inherit the throne, and Morgana will rule, with Griselda as her puppet. Your quest, Eric, is to travel across the length and breadth of Taurus and rescue L'Oreal from the witch's castle. The gate to the castle has been magically sealed for centuries. I even sent a candygram there once, but the message never returned. In order to unseal the witch's gate, you're going to need the pitchfork of Damocles, the crescent wrench of Armageddon, the raw stake of eternity, and the crowbar of the apocalypse. Oh, and the bolt cutters of doom. These magical items were scattered across Taurus many thousands of years ago, and I have spent many a lonely hour studying long-forgotten grimoires in ancient tombs. I have finally learned where each of them came to rest. The pitchfork of Damocles is entangled in the leaves of the tallest tree in the enchanted forest. The crescent wrench of Armageddon hides deep within the walls of Blicester's castle. The raw stake of eternity is guarded by the dreaded Stygian dragon, and the crowbar of the apocalypse rests somewhere in the mist that enshroud the mountain of the gods. The bolt cutters of dooms are kept by the mysterious enchanter who lives in the swamp of perdition. Although you must make this journey alone, Eric, I shall be with you in spirit, as long as the Packers aren't playing that day, and I give you this book. This magic backpack, the properties of which will become evident as your quest progresses. What you must do now, Eric, is throw the magic banana into the duck pond. Thereafter, anytime you are near a body of water, you can call the magic banana to your side by using Yoo-hoo, the ancient spell of summoning. The image starts to fade, but you grow stronger again. By the way, you can forget about getting me that root beer float. The way the Giants are playing, I may mix myself up a little stronger. Goodbye, Eric. The image flickers, and then is gone. Bud disappears, and once again, you are alone. An arm emerges from the water and catches the banana. It waves the fruit around 3 times, and then slides down back into the water. As it disappears from sight, you hear a mighty thunderclap. The noise scares some horses that were grazing nearby, and they bolt towards you. You catch a bridle, they can't control the horse, and the herd thunders toward Ulrich's house of torches, and levels the building completely. You lose your footing and get dragged several miles, and by the time you work yourself free, you find yourself at the edge of the enchanted forest, exhausted. From your day's efforts, you lay down to rest. Meanwhile,
How nice to see you, L'Oreal. So kind of you to pay me a visit. My pussy is green too. Set me free, you bitch! How dare you kidnap me? My father will have you killed for this. Nonsense, my dear. Your father will be dead by the end of the week. Your stepsister Griselda will be by his side when he dies. Through her, Morgana and I shall rule all of Taurus. I have a green anus. You'll never get away with it. The knights of the round board table will surely come and rescue me. You green cunt! Damn! At this very moment, they are drinking and cavorting in a feasting hall. Only one so-called knight is coming after you, my pretty. Alec, the Unready! You may as well give up now! No, Eric is noble and bold. If he has undertaken the quest to rescue me, then I know he shall do it. You stupid green bitch. You fucking oversized green bean. God! Take her to the dungeon!
Get down, bitch. I'm about to have my way with you.
Godspeed, Sir Eric. You are my only hope.
This is a very spooky cemetery on the eastern edge of the enchanted forest. It is dotted with decrepit gravestones. One particularly large sepulchre is nearby, looking like an oversized square bathtub with a lid on it. On the lid, you see a newspaper. Alright folks, that about wraps it up for this video, or this session, or this episode, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, of Eric the Unready. Stay tuned for some more awesomeness in another video to come.